Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Mojave. Today we're going to be checking out the Z-38 Lightwave Dynamics Research. This is a station located in the western part of the Big MT, and before the Great War, the staff here were involved with researching and developing a line of hologram projectors which would later be installed at the Sierra Madre Casino and Resort. So obviously this station had connections to Frederick Sinclair, who was a pre-war businessman, and he was a close affiliate of the Big MT and the financier and founder of the Sierra Madre. So as I said, it's located in the western part of the map. It's right next to the X66 Hexcrete Archipelago. And in fact, there are some Hexcrete columns, as you can see, surrounding Z-38. And as we approach, we can find this tool cabinet, but there's really nothing inside of it. And then on the door of Z-38, we can find a blue stars and stripes, obviously left by Ulysses. And if you didn't know, in the Big MT, these colors actually mean something. Ulysses left red, which indicates a hostile area. White marks the way forward, and blue marks a place with loot or like hidden caches. Now as we enter, we can find this terminal, which has some pretty interesting information on it. We can find that the researchers here were not too fond of Mr. Sinclair, and that they thought his project was very difficult. In fact, when Mr. Sinclair wanted the holograms to have defense mechanisms, it caused a significant delay in the production of the holograms just because it was something they weren't expecting and was going to be difficult to do. Also, we find that they spent a lot of time here trying to perfect Vera Key's hologram. Obviously, Vera Keys was kind of like the mistress or girlfriend of Mr. Sinclair, and they wonder why would they go through all this trouble just to create a simple hologram. But hey, maybe the research was worth it because the holograms and dead money are so freaking annoying. And as we make our way to the middle of the room, we find this beam of light with the Valence Radii Accentuator in the middle of the light, and we can pick it up. But do be careful of the light, because if you walk into it, it'll knock you out. And obviously right there, we have a movie poster for Vera Keys' new movie, or at the time, Love Sets Sail. Now, as I said, if you walk into the beam of light, you'll be knocked out for 12 hours, but eventually you'll regain consciousness. If you're on hardcore mode, your sleep and your hydration, everything will deplete, so do be careful. But if you're on just normal mode like I am, it's not really that big of a deal. And then you can put on the Accentuator. And with some hats, like Daniel's hat here, you can wear the Accentuator and the hat, but other hats will be taken off. There's actually a chart on the wiki if you're curious. Now, if we head over to this other section of the room, we can find a picture of Vera Keys. However, the player cannot interact with this small picture frame. Even if you shoot it or try to pick it up, it just seems like it's a permanent object. And also I wanted to mention about the Accentuator. It can be found in other locations in the Big MT, and its big thing is it regenerates HP at a rate of 1 point every 5 minutes, which equates to 12 points every in-game hour. And it heals the player even if you're waiting, even if you're sleeping, and even if you're fast traveling. So not bad, but not great either. And then underneath this terminal, we can find the recipe for Energy Weapon Skill Book, so make sure you pick it up. It's a kind of hidden, as you saw, kind of tucked away underneath that computer. And then we have 2 holograms up here, but they just are pretty much just walking around, not doing anything, like a ghost. And on this little area, there's nothing but some junk. Now, do be careful. I almost missed it, but in the corner right there, we're going to walk back, but in the corner there are some proton throwing axes, so make sure you pick those up, because, you know, you can use them, or you can just put them in your storage, whichever you like. Now, if we come out this door, we come out the back entrance, and we can see more graffiti left by Ulysses. And if we walk on down, there's some crates, but the main thing of interest is a dumpster. That's right, we want to do some dumpster diving, because in this one, we can find some plasma grenades and more throwing axes. So, not bad. And there you have it, Z-38 Lightwave Dynamics Research Station. This location is pretty cool as far as the lore. It adds a lot to the Sierra Madre and to Frederick Sinclair, and of course it adds a bit to Vera Keys. However, there aren't any enemies here, and the loot is, well, it's mediocre at best, so as far as that is concerned, it's okay. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Unexplored Mojave. If you have any recommendations for future ideas, future videos, please post them in the comments section below. And as always, until next time.
Klein, as useless as the bottle of the same name. Well, except as an example of an object that uselessly tries to fulfill its purpose.